Hey, I'm Tony K. Welcome to Transformation School. Today's lesson is Age of Extinction, Deluxe Class, Bumblebee. And this version came exclusively at Toys R Us, packaged with a previously released Generations Legends Class Bumblebee. Let's get started. Skip to 15 minutes, 9 seconds for the Generations Legends Bumblebee instructions. As soon as we get Bumblebee out of the package, he comes a little mistransformed with his vehicle mode backpack in vehicle mode rather than robot mode. If you would like to see the transformation from vehicle to robot mode, then skip to 9 minutes 52 seconds. Let's take a look at a couple of features before we start with our transformation. He's got his battle mask, which will slide down. Here's a look at the mask up close. He also has a hidden weapon. I'll rotate his hand. That might pop off. There we go. Let's try rotating that again. Very cool. Slide his mask up. I've had his mask pop off as well when sliding it. And even when his mask is up, it doesn't seem to slide up all the way. There's a little gap there. Covers his eyes a little bit. I've seen that on most of the other figures hanging in the store. We'll put his hand back. He also comes with two weapons, something, part of his tire maybe. I don't recall seeing him use these as weapons in the movie, but I've only seen the movie once, and I need to watch it a couple more times to catch all of the details. But he can hold these in his hand, or store them on his back. Okay, transformation into vehicle mode. Take the weapons off. We'll rotate the shoulder sections up and back. We'll open the chest. It's got a hinge at the waist. We're going to grab the front of the car that's inside the chest and raise it up over Bumblebee's head. The mask started to come off. I don't want to lose that. Push it back on. Let's turn to his backside. Extend that backpack to make the hood and roof of the car. Come down to his legs. I'm going to rotate this tire to the inside. Lift this yellow section on his heel. I'm going to turn his foot this way and then rotate it back. And this yellow part has to come around the wheel. We'll call that the fender. Okay. And now, over the wheel, we've got the rear end of the car. We'll rotate that. This way. We'll do the other leg. We've already turned the wheel into the center. We'll lift this fender on his heel, bring his toes up to his knee, and then fold them below the knee all the way back. We want to guide this fender over this wheel. And now we want to finish squishing his foot to his thigh. We've got the rear bumper. We're going to rotate that up. Rotating it down, I guess up, down is relative. Rotating it towards the foot instead of towards the knee is going to cause it to get stuck in transformation. Let's take it up towards the knee. And at the thigh, we're going to rotate around, and again on the other side. And now we've got the back section nearly done. I think we'll finish the back. The legs don't stay together when I push them together. The license plate does have a small groove, but there's a peg above the wheel on the fender. There's a peg on the bottom back hatch. Maybe I should say a peg hole. We'll peg these together. Oh. Pegs here above the license plate. And peg holes in the back hatch. I've got this fender that I brought around the wheel. I want to pull that out. Same on the other side so that it can peg in. And we'll fold the window up on both doors. And now we've got we've got a hinge here and a hinge underneath the chest. We'll straighten the front fender and rotate, pivot on these two hinges. There's a peg hole below the light on the front fender and behind the grille. Also, there's a peg on the window and one on the roof. And all of those will peg in together. Got that side done. So we've got a peg on the back of the grille, a peg on the hood, a peg on the window, and we'll squeeze this seam back together. This vehicle has weapon storage. We'll come to the bottom side of the car. There's a couple of holes that line up with the back of the wheel. Focus. Let's have another look at these pegs. They are offset. They aren't centered in a straight line with the middle peg, but they are, depending on what way your star is pointing, they might be higher or lower than that center peg. And so when we look at the storage hole on the bottom of the car, we'll need to make sure that the large peg and the two small pegs are oriented correctly. And I got it. So we've got our vehicle mode. Let's transform him into a robot. First we're going to remove the weapons stored underneath. Next, let's free up the doors on both sides, just ever so slightly, releasing the peg from the hole in the roof. And we know we've got a little peg here, kind of a longer peg up here, but we've got 2 pivot points to lower the whole arm shoulder assembly. So we're going to wiggle that a bit, trying to pivot here and here. Pivot down and out. And this popped off. Okay. Let's see. There's a hole here and a peg here. Let's see if we can do better on the other side. Much better. Let's come to the rear section of the car. We've got a peg here, peg underneath the back hatch. So we'll lift the back hatch, pull the leg apart, we'll rotate the bumpers over to the wheel. And we'll rotate the foot down. This piece of fender comes with it. And then fold that piece of fender, rotate the tire back, repeat on the other side. We've got the foot underneath the car, we'll rotate it down. And straighten the foot, fold the fender, fold the tire to the back of the leg. Spin the leg at the thigh, and the other leg at the thigh. Let's put that backpack together. Got a couple of pivot points underneath. Here, here, up here. Lift that one down. Lift the roof. This pivot point will fold the whole back half of the car up. And this is his backpack. Hood, roof, back hatch, back window. We got the grill of the car still above his head. We'll open his chest, rotate the grill down, under the chest behind it, fold the chest on top of it. This battle mask is popping off. Seems to be a design issue or a quality control issue, but I've seen it happen on several other figures as well, so it's not uncommon. We've got the front fenders that we can rotate forward, and looks like we should pivot them out so that they sort of cover the wheel. So he's back in robot mode. We showed at the beginning of the video he can hold his weapon. I prefer to store it on his back. That's what I recall seeing in the movie. And that's how I like to display my toys, except I do want this battle mask down. I don't recall his arm cannon in the film, but hey, as soon as it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I will see it again and make that confirmation. This is how I like to display my figure. Little side note here, while editing this lesson I realized I missed a step, so I'm going to insert this video clip. Fold the window underneath. Doesn't look that much better, but it's a step in the transformation process. Repeat on both sides. Okay, Now, back to the video. Let's set him
Skip
back.
to
We'll have a
18
look
minutes,
at our
35 seconds for
other
transformation
toy.
from robot to vehicle.
And a little weapon. I saw that this is just a recolor of a Mech Tech weapon with the Dark of the Moon Deluxe class Jolt. As a fun little gimmick. The Generations Legends version of this figure came with a little blue helicopter that turned into a robot and a weapon. Let's separate the roof, the front of the windshield, from the front of the car. We're going to pull this tire away from the hood of the car. We'll do the same on the other side. We will separate the rest of the hood from the windshield, pulling it down, forward, left, away. Fold the feet down, separate the legs. We'll separate the shoulders a little bit more. We'll rotate the waist up, the chest, which is the rear of the car, down, revealing the head. There's a peg below the windshield of the car that pegs into Bumblebee's butt. We've got two pivot points here. We're going to pivot this bottom pin first, grabbing the wheel and folding toward the fist. And now with this top pivot point, taking the fist, folding it down. We'll do the same on the other side. Fold the wheel in towards the fist. Fold the fist down. I think this is a fun figure. I gave away my Legends class figure for comparison, but it did have some paint here. I believe there was some paint differences in the face, and I think the color of the tail lights might have been some sort of red to match the paint down here. Now let me set him off to the side and see if I can bring up a picture for comparison right here. If you can see the differences in the tail light and the front of the chest. Let's get rid of that. And here is his Mech Tech weapon. It's nearly half as big as he is. There. Yeah, hoorah! And Bumblebee. And let's transform this back into vehicle mode. We'll fold on this pivot point and fold the wheel out on this pivot point. And we'll repeat over here. One pivot point and the other. We'll fold the foot up to the knee, peg the legs together, 2 pegs on his right leg, 2 holes on his left leg. We will take we'll unpeg his butt and rotate the chest up above his head. Rotate his waist down. Let's bring the hood to the windshield and rotate the side of the car up and peg it in up here at the hood. And rotate this other side up, back, around the direction is. irregardless. We'll peg that in there. This is an English class, it's transformation school. And we'll put that weapon right there, because he's a street tank. Class dismissed.